Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ayo and I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria. I hope you are all fine and doing great. On this channel, I upload DIYs, pattern drafting and sewing tutorials. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do so and remember to turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I upload new videos. On today's tutorial, I'll be making this lovely wrap top or blouse with a tiered bishop sleeve. So without further ado, let's jump. So to make the wrap top, I'll be working with the following tools: tape rule, pins, paper scissors, marker pen, curves, rulers, basic bodice pattern, basic sleeve pattern, pattern paper, 3 yards of African print fabric, also known as Ankara. So this is the basic bodice pattern. It has just the waist dart. The back pattern will be cut on fold. It has no zip allowance. I have a tutorial for the basic bodice on my channel. I'll separate the bodice from the area I want to modify into a peplum. The bodice is 16 inches or 41 centimeters long. I will close the darts of the bodice like this. Then I will cut out the full pattern of the bodice. This is the full front pattern. I widen the neckline by 3 centimeters. But first I will leave out 1.5 centimeters seam allowance at the neckline of the pattern. Then I will measure the 3 centimeters I want to use to widen the neckline. I will find the midpoint of this side seam. Then I will join the 2 points together with my curve. I will cut it out like this. So this is the portion that I need to make the wrap blouse. I will now find the midpoint of the neckline. What I intend to do is hold a little dart of about half centimeters wide and 10 centimeters long. This dart will prevent gaping at the neckline after sewing the wrap top. I will hold the dart like this. As for this lower part, I intend to modify it into a peplum. But first I will close the remaining dart like this. Then I will cut out the full pattern. I need the full pattern because the peplum design is asymmetrical. Now I will cut out this symmetrical design. First I measure 4 centimeters downwards. Then I will draw using my curve. I will cut it out. I will now divide the asymmetrical peplum into 6 equal parts. I will now cut out the sections like this, but I won't cut all the way through. I will now spread out the sections using 3 cm spacing for the spread. I will now redraw the lower curve like this. I will add 1.5 cm seam allowance to the upper and the lower parts of the peplum. I will cut it out. So this is the peplum for the front. I will cut 2 pieces of this on my fabric. Also for the back, I will also cut out or separate the bodice from the area I want to modify into a peplum or flare. The bodice is 16 centimeters or 16 inches or 41 centimeters long, just like the front. I will also close the dart. For the back neckline, I will widen the neckline by 3 centimeters, just like I did for the front, and deepen it by 2 centimeters. I will redraw the neckline and I will cut it out. For the lower part of the back pattern, I will close the dart like this. I've divided it into 3 sections, then I will slash and spread just like I did for the front. I will use 3 centimeters for the spreading. I do not need my full pattern for the back design as the design is not asymmetrical. I will also add seam allowance to the upper and lower parts of the design. Then I will cut it out. So this is the peplum or flare for the back. One piece of it will be cut on fold. I will now move over to the sleeve. I will use my basic short sleeve pattern to make the sleeve design. I have a tutorial on how to draft this sleeve on my channel. Link in the description box below. What I will do now is to extend my short sleeve into a long sleeve. I use my desired sleeve length to do this. At the sides, I will make the line a little bit slanted. Consequently, I'm adding some fullness to my sleeve, especially at the hem, where I will be using elastic later on. I will now divide my sleeve into 4 sections, like this. These lines, these vertical lines are mere guidelines. I won't be cutting or slashing and spreading them. So now I will mark out my 4 horizontal slash lines. The slash line will start about 10 centimeters away from the underarm on both sides of the sleeve. And each of the slash lines are 5 centimeters wide. I will now draw the slash line, the horizontal slash lines like so. Now I will slash and spread the sleeves. Use 3 centimeters for the spreading. I use 3 centimeters spacing in between the spread. So now, using the vertical lines I drew as a guide, I will mark the points that I will stick together when sewing the sleeve on my sewing machine. After doing this, I will add about 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch seam allowance at the hem of the sleeve. Then I will cut out the sleeve like this. So after cutting it out, this is what the full pattern looks like. I've marked the center of the sleeve, also the back and the front sides of the sleeve. All these points will be stitched together on my fabric when sewing the sleeve. For the front and the back necklines, I will mark out a facing of about 5 centimeters wide. I will trace out the facing on a separate pattern paper using my tracing wheel. So these are the pattern pieces that will be used to make the wrap top. This is the back facing I will cut one piece on fold. This is the front facing. Two pieces will be cut singly. This is the asymmetrical peplum design for the front. Two pieces will be cut singly. This is the wrap bodice. I will cut two pieces of this. I will add 1.5 centimeters seam allowance to the lower and upper part of the pattern when cutting it out on my fabric. This is the back pattern. I will cut one piece of this on fold. I will add about 1.5 centimeters seam allowance to the neckline and to the hem of the pattern while cutting it out on my fabric. This is the peplum or flare for the back. It will be cut on fold. This is the sleeve pattern. Two pieces of this will be cut. So now I have cut out the patterns on my fabric. I have attached into facing to the front and the back facings. I have also overlocked them. So the first thing I will do is to stick the facing to the neck of the front pieces and also the back pieces and also the back piece. So I will place the fabric together like this. Right sides should be together. I will secure it with my pins. Then I will take it to my sewing machine and stitch it in place using 1.5 centimeters seam allowance for the stitching. I will do the same for the other side and also for the back. So now that has been done, I've sticked into the facing to the necklines of the front and the back. So I will now go ahead to stick the shoulder lines together, the shoulder lines of the front and the back. So I'll place the front and the back together like so. Right sides will be together. I will secure with my pins. Then take it to my sewing machine and stitch in place using 1.5 centimeters seam allowance. I will do the same for the other side too. So now that has been done, I've stitched the front and back together at the shoulder lines. So now the next thing I will do is to attach the peplum to the front and the back bodies. So I will place the peplum on the bodice like so. Right sides will be together. I will take it to my sewing machine and stitch it in place using 1/2 inch or 1.5 centimeters seam allowance. I will do the same for the other side and also for the back. So now that has been done, I've attached the two peplums to the front and also to the back. I will now move over to the belt. The belt is 4 inches wide and 45 inches long. You can reduce the length of your belt. Just make sure that it can go around your waistline. I will fold the belt into two lengthwise. Right sides will be together. I will take it to my sewing machine and stitch it in place. I will close one end of the belt and leave the other end open so that I can turn it to the right side after sewing. So now I've stitched the two belts and I've turned them to the right side. I will place the belt on the top like so, at the joining of the bodice to the peplum. I will stitch using half an inch seam allowance. I will do the same for the other side. I will place the belt at the joining of the peplum on the bodice at the same line. I will stitch using half an inch seam allowance. So now I've done that. I will overlock this side, then I will turn it over like this, then I will stitch on top. I will also overlock this other side too. I will fold it over like this. I will also stitch on top. So I've done that, and the side seams too. I left this opening. I've joined the side seams together. So I will insert the belt into the opening like this when wearing the blouse. I will now move over to the sleeve. I have transferred all the markings on the sleeve pattern to the fabric. So with the wrong side of my fabric facing up, I will fold the fabric like this in between the two markings, and I will stitch. The stitching should be about 1 inch long. I will fold like this and I will stitch. I will also fold at this point like this in between the two markings, and I will stitch. I will fold like this in between the two markings and I will stitch. I will do this for all the points I marked on the sleeve pattern. So now I've done that. The next thing to do is to hem the sleeve. So I will fold the hem like this and I will stitch. So after hemming, I will insert elastic into the hemline. So now I've done that. I measured my wrist measurement when inserting the elastic. Also, I made provision for 2 inches seam allowance for the sleeves. So I measured my wrist, which is 7 inches, and I added 2 inches for the seam allowance when sewing the sleeves together. So I will fold the sleeves like so. Right sides will be together. I will take it to my sewing machine and stitch it in place using 1 inch seam allowance. I do the same for the other side too. So now I've done that. I will now go ahead to attach my sleeve to the top. So I will insert my sleeve like this, making sure the right sides are together. So I've done that. I've attached the sleeve. I've attached the two sleeves. So the next thing I'll do is to hem the lower part of my blouse. So after doing this, I will use my needle and thread using invisible hand stitching technique to secure the facing firmly to the blouse. So now I've done that. This is the final look of the blouse on my dress form. So that's it, guys, we're done. Do you find this video helpful? If yes, please do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you in my next tutorial. Bye and thank you for watching.